Hello and welcome back to Sparrows and Business. I'm Mel and I'm in the process of trying to build 10 online income streams, and my whole channel is about following my progress with that and all things to do with online money and business. If you're interested in that kind of thing and you want to find out more about what I'm doing, then please check out some of my previous videos. This one is a little bit different. This one is going to focus on, as you can probably tell from either the thumbnail or the title, this one is focusing on decluttering and using money that I've made from decluttering to pay down my mortgage. Now, the reason why this whole video has come about is because in the UK, we are experiencing, like so many other people are experiencing, some challenges with our economy. The cost of living crisis, as the media is reporting it as, is very, very real and seems to be getting worse every day. Every time I check the news, some other awful thing has happened. The part of it that I'm focusing on in this video is the interest rate rise, and particularly to mortgages. It is a we, it's a shared mortgage with my other half, but my other half has absolutely no social media presence whatsoever, doesn't even have accounts with anything or anywhere. So to all intents and purposes, I'm probably just going to fall into saying I and me quite a lot. I won't be referring to him apart from very kind of obliquely and from a distance. So however I want to talk about it, the interest rate on my mortgage is going to increase a lot next year. I am one of those people that has a mortgage on a fixed rate that is going to end in the springtime of 2023. Now that's going to throw up a bit of a problem to our previously fairly secure finances. Like a lot of people, it's going to increase that monthly payment by some considerable margin. I don't know exactly how much that's going to be as yet, but looking at some of the predictions, it ain't going to be pretty. So the big change that's going to happen next year is when we come to the point of refixing, is we're probably going to refinance completely and actually refinance the mortgage over a longer period of time. At the moment, we own about 80% of our property and the remainder of that is on a mortgage, and that's set to be paid off in about 5 years time. However, we're probably going to refinance that over 10 years just to lower those monthly payments and make sure that they stay manageable from next year onwards. Now, the reason why I'm starting to link paying down the mortgage with some decluttering that I've been doing over the last 6 months is because another way that the monthly payments can be reduced is by lowering the amount that you owe on your mortgage, by paying off or making overpayments rather. When you make an overpayment on your mortgage, or certainly the mortgage that I have, you can choose to have it taken off the length of the term, or you can choose to have it taken off so that it lowers your monthly amount that you pay. And that's what we're going to be going for on this occasion. It's what makes sense to me and to us as the mortgage holders. You may well choose to do something different with your own, or this might not even be an option for you. I just decided that this could make an interesting video topic. So the idea is, or the other thing that prompted this, is the decluttering that I've been doing over the last 6 months. I have been, let me have a look, what's here. I've basically been adding things to eBay as and when I get a little bit of time at weekends. I've currently got 54 items listed, and I'd say for like the last 6 weeks to 2 months, I've managed to maintain it at around 50 items because honestly, there's just been so much to declutter. What really struck me was when I looked at my 90-day total on eBay, and I'll pop it on screen somewhere, is that in the last 90 days, in the last 3 months, my turnover has been £750. Now, obviously, out of that comes eBay fees and postage fees and things like that. But even if you look at that as about £600, that's still, it's such a big chunk of money. And what's been happening with that so far is it's just been absorbed into just regular, spending and expenses and things like that. On a side note, I look at that and I wonder whether that is what has disguised the drop in my income, that I spoke about in a previous video, which I will link up above, the one where I suddenly realised that my online income was a complete disaster. And I think that some of this money that's come in from decluttering has just sort of taken the edge off it and not made me, or kind of disguised it slightly, so I didn't realise as quickly as I should have done just how much things had been in decline. And I think the other thing that arises from that, just again because I'm waffling a bit now, the other thing that arose from that is the fact that I'm not doing my bookkeeping on a regular basis like I used to. I'm kind of just doing like chunks of it every 6 months or so and making sure that I get it done in order to submit it and things. And what I really need to be keeping an eye on that on a weekly and monthly basis. So side note, I think that's happened and the bookkeeping needs sorting out as well. But anyway, I just don't want this £600 chunk of money, and potentially more, because I've got so much stuff to sell, so many more listings that I could create. I don't want that big chunk of money to not do anything. I want to use it to pay down the mortgage, to reduce those monthly payments, even if it just reduces it by, I don't know, £5 or £10, whatever it is. It just feels like a much more constructive way to use that money at the moment. So here's what I'm going to do, and here's what I'm going to share with you. And if it sounds like an interesting thing, then subscribe to my channel, because I'll be making some updates on here. And then I'm also thinking of setting up either a Substack or Patreon, whichever one allows me to share things either completely for free, which I think Substack does, or I can, like, for a nominal payment, like $1 or something like that, every month, because I would like to share more details of it, but I think I would prefer a much smaller group of people to do that in, just because when you start talking about money, people just can get quite, it's a bit much for some people, and they can be quite rude. And I kind of want some sort of filter in place to kind of keep those people away, and keep close to me those of you that will take this for what it is. It's an experiment. It's an interesting thing. It's something that I realise not everyone can do. Not everyone has a whole ton of stuff in their house that they can sell. I get that. However, I think it's interesting, and I'm really hoping that some of you will kind of join me and follow along while I do this. What I decided to do then, and I'm not entirely convinced that what I've just been saying makes a great deal of sense, so if it doesn't, then I apologise, but hopefully it'll become clearer the more videos I make on it. The plan so far is that I will continue to sell things on eBay, and I'll also give Vinted a try, I think. I've also got some bigger items that I might try and get rid of on maybe Gumtree, or is it Spock? Is that another one? I need to check those out because I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing with those yet. But definitely still eBay, and definitely start selling some bits and pieces on Vinted, because of course you don't have the fees, the seller fees on that particular platform. So that's the plan. Carry on doing that. And I want to get to the point where I've got maybe 100 things listed across those platforms, and I'm kind of maintaining that level, especially as we go into Christmas. Then I think my other rule, I mean, they're not really rules, I'm making them up, but my other rule, and I'm making the camera wobble as well, is going to be that any profit that I make that is £10 or above, I will just pay that straight off the mortgage. And the reason why I say that is because £10 is the minimum amount for any overpayment on my mortgage with the bank that I am with. Anything over £10 after fees and after I've paid postage, that will go straight off to the mortgage on whatever day that money comes in. And anything that is below that, I think I'm just going to allow that to get absorbed into that everyday spending. So if I sell something and I clear £5, I'm just going to keep that, because actually that money also serves a purpose in that it means that maybe I can go and buy something for that £5 that I either really need or really want, or is going to make a difference to me, like a little treat or something like that. Most of the things that I'm selling are £10 or above, so there's not going to be that much at the treat end of the spectrum. Most of it's going to be paying off the mortgage, but I just thought that that was a really good compromise, and also because it's going to cut down on admin. So say I've made £3 profit on something and then £4 on something else, and kind of squirreling that into a separate account and then waiting for it to get to £10 or above and then paying all of that, it just cuts that out, doesn't it? Basically, if I've cleared £10 or above, it goes straight off the mortgage. If it's less than £10, then it just gets absorbed into my kind of day-to-day finances. That's, you know, kind of my decision. That when I say me, I am running these things past my other half, but that's the way that I am going to be doing it. There's one thing that I'm going to sell that's quite a big, expensive thing. The money from that is earmarked for something specific. So that's the only thing that I haven't even listed it yet either. That's the only thing I'm excluding from this. Everything else though is mortgage focused. I also thought I'd tell you the types of thing that I have decluttered and have started selling. So it's all the usual suspects. It's old work clothes that I no longer need or that even fit me anymore. It's a few little items of costume jewellery that I just don't wear anymore. It's shoes, it's boots, it's books, magazines. What else have I had on there lately? I'm like accessories, bags and belts and things like that. I'm sure there's been other things. I'm trying to think. I think there's been a few ornaments. I've definitely boxed up some things and had to put bubble wrap around them. So maybe a few. So I used to collect vintage ceramics and vintage glass quite a lot. I don't have that much or that many of those things left, but I have got a few. So I know that there have been some breakables that have left the building. But yeah, it's mainly just toot. Is the only way I could describe it. Just toot. Just things that have been in the house for years that we no longer use. And even just like, I don't know, like knickknacks and just little, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's just that kind of stuff that you kind of have lying around in your house. And I should say that what we've kind of come up with and what we've found so far is just from a first wave of decluttering. I mean, this could go on for like a year at the rate that we're kind of finding things and thinking, yeah, we don't want that. Haven't even done the kitchen yet for a first wave, haven't even done a first wave through the bedroom yet. It's just, well, with the exception of clothing, it's just so much stuff has accumulated over the years. 12 years we've been living in this house and it's just so much stuff. So that's what we're doing, guys. That's what I am doing, and I will, in the next video, I will just make sure that I'm happy with what I'm sharing first. What I ideally want to show is almost like is the amount that's owed, and then to just kind of check in every so often with how that figure is decreasing with both the regular monthly payment and then also with the money that's coming in from the decluttering. That's what I'm hoping that I'm going to show in future videos. I just need to sit down and make sure that I feel really comfortable and happy to do that. And also, like I said, it may well be that some of the nitty-gritty details is shared on another platform, as yet undecided. But yeah, if this sounds like an interesting project or a fun project or an entertaining project that you would like to follow, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get some updates and some more details on that. And I will hopefully be back soon in the next few weeks to give you a bit of an update and to talk about how I'm going to share what's happening with it moving forward. So yeah, thank you for hanging out with me for a little while I describe my latest little project, and I will see you again soon.